You are the creator of your reality, and everything you experience in this world is a product of your own assumption. Nothing exists outside of you that has the power to define who you are, except for the thoughts and beliefs that you choose to hold. The world you see, the circumstances that surround you, and the people you meet are not separate from you. They are all reflections of the inner workings of your mind. Your consciousness is the fabric from which all things are made, and it is through your awareness that you bring the unseen into the visible world. The universe does not respond to force, to struggle, or to effort. It responds only to the quiet power of your thoughts, the power of your assumptions, and the power of your beliefs. If you can change what you believe, if you can alter the assumptions you hold about yourself and your life, you will change your world. The only true law that governs all things is the law of assumption. What you assume to be true becomes true in your experience. If you believe that life is a struggle, it will be a struggle. If you believe that abundance is yours, then it must be yours. If you assume that you are worthy, deserving, and capable of all the good things you desire, then your life will unfold in perfect harmony with that assumption. But it is not enough to wish for change. You must live as though the change has already occurred. You must walk through life with the understanding that you are already the person you wish to become. The key to transformation lies in embodying the state of being that you wish to experience. You do not have to wait for the world to change before you change. The world changes when you change your state of being. When you see yourself as whole, complete, and perfect in every way, that is how you will experience the world. It is not the world that dictates who you are, it is you who dictates what the world will be. Your assumptions are the lens through which you view reality. If you see a world of lack, limitation, and struggle, it is because that is the assumption you are holding. If you see a world of abundance, love, and opportunity, it is because you have assumed that is the nature of reality. The world will always conform to your assumptions, no matter how absurd they may seem at first. The moment you assume a new reality, that new reality begins to take shape and become evident in your experience. The process is not magical, it is natural. The law of assumption is as certain as the law of gravity. We are living in a world where most people have been taught to look outside of themselves for answers, to seek validation from others, and to believe that their circumstances define their worth. This is the great illusion. Your worth is not determined by anything outside of you. It is determined by your inner state, by your awareness of your own divine power. The moment you recognize that you are the master of your own destiny, that you have the power to shape your reality, you will begin to experience a new kind of freedom. Freedom from the limitations of time, space, and circumstance. Freedom from the constraints of the past. Freedom from the chains of doubt and fear. When you begin to assume the reality that you desire, the entire universe conspires to bring it into being. The people, the events, the opportunities, and the resources that you need will begin to align themselves with your inner vision. You are the master of your fate, the creator of your experience. You do not have to fight, struggle, or compete for what is already yours. You must only assume that it is yours, and it will come to you in perfect divine timing. There are no obstacles in the universe except for the ones you place in your own mind. The only limitations you experience are those that you believe to be true. Once you recognize that there is no force greater than your own consciousness, you will understand that nothing is impossible. Every limitation is self-imposed. You are not bound by the past, the present, or the future. Time is but a concept, a construct of the mind. You have the power to transcend time, to go beyond the limitations that have been placed upon you. When you believe in your ability to shape your own reality, time bends to your will, and you can experience everything you desire as though it has already happened. The first step to manifesting your desires is to assume that they are already yours. When you pray, when you speak your desires into existence, do so with the absolute certainty that it is already done. Do not wait for external circumstances to change before you believe. Your belief creates the circumstances, not the other way around. The world is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you to recognize the power within you. It is waiting for you to claim your divinity, to claim your sovereignty over your own life. Do not doubt for a moment that you are worthy of the life you desire. Your worth is inherent. It is not something you must earn, achieve, or prove. You are worthy because you exist. The divine spark within you is the source of all creation. When you recognize this truth, you will no longer settle for less than what you truly desire. You will no longer allow the world to dictate your limitations. You will stand in the power of your own being, knowing that you are a limitless creator. When you begin to live from this place of inner knowing, the world will shift to meet you. People will be drawn to you, opportunities will arise, and the things you once thought were out of reach will come to you with ease. You will no longer struggle, because you will understand that you are not working to make things happen. You are simply aligning with the flow of divine abundance that is always available to you. You are no longer a passive participant in your life. You are an active creator. The key is to remain steadfast in your assumptions. Do not let the appearance of things fool you. The world is malleable and it responds to your thoughts. If you assume that your desires are already yours, you will see evidence of that assumption in the world around you. If you hold the belief that you are wealthy, healthy, loved, and successful, those things will begin to manifest in your experience. Your external world is a reflection of your internal state. Change your inner state, and the outer world must change to match it. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep in, when the world appears to be stubbornly resistant to your assumptions. But remember, the world is not the source of your power. You are. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. Your beliefs are the builders of your world. When you encounter resistance, simply reaffirm your assumption. Do not give in to the temptation to see the world as it appears. See it as you desire it to be, and the world will eventually align with that vision. This is the nature of consciousness. It is always becoming. You are always becoming, and your life is the result of what you have assumed about yourself and the world. You do not need to strive or struggle to create change. You only need to assume the change you desire, and it will become manifest. The world does not operate on the basis of hard work or effort. It operates on the principle of assumption. Assume the reality you wish to experience, and it will unfold naturally, effortlessly, and in perfect divine timing. To understand this, you are the creator of your reality. The world is not shaping you, you are shaping the world. Everything that comes into your experience is a result of your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. You have the power to change anything in your life by changing your assumptions about it. Your life is your creation. If you do not like what you see, change the way you are seeing it. If you do not like what you are experiencing, change the assumptions you are holding. The moment you shift your consciousness, the world shifts with you. There is no limit to what you can create, because there is no limit to the power within you. Do not wait for the world to change first. Change your assumptions and the world will follow. The only reality that is real is the one you create in your own mind. Everything you desire is already yours. Claim it now and see the world unfold in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The world is yours. You are the creator, and your life is a masterpiece waiting to be painted. Take the brush in your hand and create the life you truly desire. Let your imagination be the soil in which the seeds of your desires are planted. Do not merely observe the world around you. Enter into the world within you, where all things are born. That invisible world, though unseen by the physical eye, is more real than what you now call reality. Your senses will try to convince you otherwise, but they are only echoing your former assumptions. They report only what you have formerly believed to be true. Now, when you shift your assumption, when you dare to persist in a new belief, your senses will yield. They must, for the senses are servants, not masters. The imagination is the doorway through which your desires become tangible. You are not a victim of what you observe, you are the origin of it. All change begins within. And it begins with the decision to believe differently, to see differently, to feel differently. You must feel the reality of the wish fulfilled. You must make it real in your imagination before it becomes real in your life. And once you have seen it within, you must live as though it is already so, regardless of the evidence around you. For faith is loyalty to the unseen reality, and it is that loyalty that calls it into manifestation. You will be tempted to return to the old story, to respond to appearances as if they have power over you. But appearances are shadows of past thoughts. They are not causative. They are echoes, not songs. They are ripples, not stones. The moment you claim a new identity, a new story, a new state of being, you begin the process of resurrection. You raise the dead assumptions to life and watch as they shape the world around you. It is not arrogance to claim what is yours by divine right. It is obedience to truth. The truth that you are what you assume yourself to be, and that you become what you persist in believing. Do not ask how it will come. The how is not your concern. The bridge of incidents that will lead you to the fulfillment of your desire is already prepared. You do not need to construct it with effort or force. Your only task is to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel it real, know that it is done, and then allow the natural flow of life to carry you from scene to scene, moment to moment, until you stand fully in the reality you once imagined. The imagination is the womb of creation. What you feel within it will be born into time. You are not waiting for it to happen. You are walking toward the manifestation that has already been decreed by your inner world. And yes, there will be days when the old thoughts try to pull you back, when the weight of past conditioning presses upon your mind. But remember, you are not your past. You are not bound to repeat what has been. You are free. Every moment is a fresh canvas. Every breath is an opportunity to assume something new. Persist. Do not let the outer world tell you what is possible. Let your inner conviction speak louder than the noise of the world. Such as Shao-Hojis. You have been given dominion over your life, not because of your effort, but because of your nature. You are divine consciousness individualized. There is no power outside of your own consciousness. No fate, no destiny, no external authority can override the power that lies within you. The only thing required is your willingness to believe, not in wishful thinking, but in deliberate, sustained assumption. To dwell in the end is to enter into the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. It is to move your attention away from what is and to rest it firmly upon what you desire to be. And the moment you do this, a shift occurs. It may be invisible at first, subtle, unspoken, but it is a shift in the foundation of your being. And the world must follow. Let your desire be holy, let it be sacred. Do not judge it by the standards of others. Do not question whether you are worthy of it. You are. The very desire you feel is evidence that its fulfillment already exists. You would not hunger unless the food already existed. You would not thirst unless the water already was. So too with your desire. It comes because its fulfillment is present within your own consciousness. It is calling you to a higher state, to a greater expression of your true self. Do not suppress it, embrace it, live from it. You are not becoming, you are revealing. What you assume is not a fiction you hope to believe in someday. It is the truth that has been hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and forgetfulness. To assume is to remember, to step into the awareness of your divine identity, and in this remembrance you reclaim your world. You walk into rooms with authority. You move through life not as one who begs, but as one who declares. For what you declare within will soon echo without. There is a power in stillness, in quiet, unseen moments of inner certainty. Do not underestimate the silence. When you sit in the silence of your imagination and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are doing more than visualizing. You are planting reality. The outer world moves because the inner world has spoken. You do not need to beg for change, you command it by changing your inner state. And you do not command with force, but with assumption, with the gentle, unwavering knowing that it is already done. Allow yourself to feel it now. Not tomorrow, not once you see the evidence. Now. Feel what it would feel like if your desire were fulfilled. Let that feeling wash over you. Let it saturate your mind, your body, your spirit. Let it become your natural dwelling place. And the more you return to it, the more familiar it becomes, until one day you no longer feel like you are imagining it. You feel like you are remembering it. That is when the world begins to bend. And you will notice something extraordinary. The world around you will shift in response. People will say different things. Opportunities will arise where none existed before. Obstacles will dissolve, not because you fought them, but because you outgrew them. You rose in consciousness, and the outer world had no choice but to reflect the inner elevation. You did not force it. You became it. Every desire carries its own fulfillment. The moment you accept the desire as yours, you have already received it in seed form. Now it is your task to nurture it with belief, to feed it with imagination, to water it with emotion, and to shield it from the weeds of doubt. Guard your mind as you would guard a sacred treasure, for it is from your mind that all things are born. Live now as the person who has received. Speak now as the one who knows it is done. Act now, not in desperation, but in faith. And when you forget, because you will, from time to time, gently return. Return to the end, return to the state of fulfillment. That is the center of your being. That is your home. Dear Ekar, you do not need permission to believe in a greater life. You do not need anyone's agreement. You only need your own consent. The moment you agree within, the world will begin to reflect that agreement. And it does not matter how long you have believed otherwise. A new assumption, truly accepted, has the power to dissolve the effects of a lifetime of disbelief. This is the miracle of consciousness. It is never bound by time. One new assumption can redeem years of doubt. One moment of inner certainty can alter the course of your entire existence. That is the gift you have been given. The power to change the world by changing your mind. So dwell in the end. Not as a visitor, but as a resident. Let the state of your desire become so natural, so familiar, that it feels strange to imagine life without it. And as you continue to assume, to feel, to live from the end, you will notice that life becomes more effortless, more joyful, more miraculous. Because you are no longer chasing what you desire, you are embodying it. And what you embody must come into form. That is the law, that is the truth. You are always in a state. You may not have called it that before, but every moment of your life you are dwelling in a particular state of consciousness. These states are not merely emotions or moods, they are entire realities. Entire outcomes, patterns, and possibilities are contained within each state. You cannot experience what is not in the state you occupy. If you are in the state of lack, the world will reflect lack. If you are in the state of abundance, then your life becomes a mirror of abundance. It does not matter what the world says is happening. What matters is the state you are in while you observe it. Because it is not the world that is doing something to you, it is you, through your state shaping the world. Your consciousness is infinite. You can shift from one state to another as easily as you change your thoughts. But many remain in states that no longer serve them because they continue to believe the lie that circumstances are fixed, that personality is fixed, that fate is final. Nothing is fixed. The only thing that appears permanent is what you continue to give attention to. If you shift your attention, if you redirect your focus inward and change your assumption, then all things must follow. But the change must be internal first. You cannot manipulate the outer world into changing. You must become the version of you who no longer needs the change, because the change has already occurred in consciousness. And when you do this consistently, a quiet confidence grows in you. Not the confidence that comes from ego or superiority, but the divine confidence that knows who it is and needs no permission to exist. This confidence does not waver when things seem slow. It does not shrink when the outer world looks unchanged. It is rooted in the truth that what has been accepted in imagination is already real. You do not wait for proof, you become the proof. And so you begin to think from the end. You begin to walk as the one who already possesses, already knows, already is. And this is not about pretending, it is about remembering your true identity, the one that is not swayed by circumstances, not limited by appearances. The more you return to the state of the wish fulfilled, the more natural it becomes, until eventually you no longer even call it a wish. It is simply your way of being. Every person, every situation, every condition you meet is an outpicturing of your state. You do not have to change them. You only need to change your own self-concept. What do you believe to be true about yourself, about life, about others? These are the silent assumptions that create your experience, and they are yours to revise. If you have believed something disempowering, you can believe differently now. You can rise into a new state, and the former things will fall away like shadows at sunrise. They have no life of their own. They only live through your focus. And so choose deliberately, choose boldly, choose with the authority of one who knows that life does not happen to them, it happens through them. And do not be afraid to assume greatly. Let your vision expand, let your desires be vast, not because they will make you more, but because they already reflect the more that you are. Your desires are not random, they are revelations of your potential, they are messages from the higher self, showing you what you are capable of embodying. Do not minimize them, do not explain them away, embrace them, live into them. It is your inner speech that determines the outcome. The conversations you have with yourself are more powerful than any action you can take. For what you consistently say to yourself becomes the mold through which your reality is poured. Speak to yourself as one who is already victorious. Declare to yourself that it is done. Refuse to argue for your limitations. Do not indulge in self-pity or replay old narratives of failure. They may feel familiar, but they are not true. What is true is what you decide now. Your assumptions need not be logical. They only need to be accepted. There is no virtue in trying to figure out how the impossible becomes possible. The greater wisdom is in knowing that what you assume and persist in must become fact. You do not have to bend the world to your will. You only need to bend your will to a new assumption. And in doing so, you bend the world without effort. For the outer world is always obedient to the inner. And as you begin to see evidence of your new state, remain humble. Not the humility of shrinking, but the humility of understanding that you did not achieve this through force. You allowed it by aligning with your higher self. You aligned with truth, and truth always manifests itself. The old life begins to dissolve, and the new life emerges, not because you earned it, but because you finally assumed it. You no longer ask, will it happen? You declare, it is happening, it is now, it is done. You must become one with the desire. There is no separation between you and that which you want, except for your own belief in the separation. The moment you stop desiring from a place of lack and begin to assume from a place of possession, you close the gap. The wish fulfilled is not something you chase, it is something you dwell in. Feel the joy now. Feel the peace now. Let it live in your body. Let it breathe through your words. Let it inform every action, every choice, every moment. For you are not becoming, you are remembering. You are realigning. What you seek is seeking you. What you imagine with love, with conviction, with confidence, must return to you in form. The process is not personal, it is principle. It does not reward some and withhold from others. It simply reflects. The world is a mirror, and you are the face. What you show it, it returns. So show it your strength, show it your wholeness, show it your worth. And when the moment comes, and it will, when your world has changed, when the thing you once imagined now stands before you in full detail, you will smile, not in surprise, but in recognition. You will know it not as a stranger, but as something familiar. For you saw it first within. You entertained it. You embraced it. You became it. And now it has become you. This is the way of all creation. Nothing begins on the outside. All things begin within. And so long as you hold fast to the state of the wish fulfilled, so long as you continue to imagine from the end, the world cannot help but conform. It must. It always does. There is no other law. There is no other truth. Remain faithful, then, to the vision within you. Return to it when doubts arise. Reaffirm it when the senses contradict it. Rejoice in it even before it appears, and let your faith be active, not passive. Let it be the daily assumption that your world is already new, already radiant, already whole. Because it is. And you, being one with the power that made all things, have the authority to speak it so. And so, let us now rest in the awareness that all we have ever sought already lives within us. The power to assume, to feel, to believe. This is the true creative force. You need not look to the world to give you signs, for you are the sign. You are the cause. As you dwell in the end, you rewrite your story, not through striving, but through silent knowing. You no longer chase the dream. You awaken to the truth that you are the dreamer, and the dream is yours to shape. Remain faithful to the unseen. Persist in the assumption. Feel it real. For the moment you do, the world will bend to match it. This is the secret of life. This is the mystery revealed. All is within, all is now, all is you.
Tonight's subject is, what shall you ask of me? This story we find in the book of Genesis. We find it in the book of Samuel, and repeated again in the New Testament. It really begins with Alice, what wilt thou give me? And that is in the 15th of Genesis. Then he said, I am childless, I have no heir, and a slave boy in my home will be my heir. And he was told, the slave will not be your heir. Your own son will be your heir. Then we are told, as the sun went down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and a dread and great darkness fell upon him. Then the Lord God said to him, for a surety your descendants will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and they will be as slaves in that land. They will be oppressed for 400 years, and afterwards they will come out with great possessions. Verses 12-14. Now, there's not a word said that Abram was in any way awakened from this sleep. Not a word. He fell into a deep sleep, and all this was told him in a deep sleep. And there was a dread and great darkness that fell upon him. Now this is our subject this night. He asked for a son. He was promised a son. Then we are told in the story, as he dreamed and the son was mentioned, he made this statement, he fell on his face and laughed when he was told he would have a son. And said he, shall a man who is 100 years old have a son? Shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? And said that he laughed. Is this the laughter of derision, laughter of incredulity, or the laughter of rejoicing? We're told in the scripture of John that Abraham rejoiced that he was to see my day. He saw it and was glad. John 8:56. You can take it in any form you want. Either you can say, well, he laughed because of disbelief, or he laughed, he rejoiced, he was to see my day, he saw it and was glad. Now, when we read scripture, we're not reading secular history, We're reading divine history. Man is not aware of that. The Bible is a vision. It is a mystery to be known only by revelation. And those who think they know it by trying to analyze it, they're far removed from the truth. It comes by revelation and only by revelation. If you haven't had the experience, listen to one who has had it, and either believe him or disbelieve him. Don't try to rationalize it. So I will tell you, and I have told you what I have seen, and you will not accept my testimony. Seeing and knowing in the Greek are one. Seeing is experiencing. He is telling you, I have experienced it, and you will not believe it, because I can't share it with you on the level where you now live. And so here, what is he trying to tell us in this story of falling asleep and being told what must happen to man? Well, first of all, we're reading in the Hebrew. Every letter in the Hebrew world, as it were, has a numerical value and a symbolical value. He was 100 years old. The 19th letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Koph. If you want to sound it, Q-O-P-H, Koph. We put a Q in the Q. The symbol of it is the back of the head. The number, its numerical value, is 100. A man is not 100 years old. This is a mystery. Here is 100. 100 what? The number of the back of the head. He is being told you will bear a son. It will come from the back of your skull. And so you will say, he fell on his face and laughed. That's ridiculous on this level. It comes from the womb of a woman. But he is told he's 100 years old, and you will bear a son, and it will come from the back of your skull. Well, you can take the laughter in any way you want, either the laughter of disbelief or, as we're told in the book of John, the 8th chapter, rejoicing. He rejoiced that he was to see my day. He saw it and was glad. Verse 56. Now we are told in this story, your descendants will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs. It's this world. We don't belong here. These garments belong here. Every garment in this world is part of the eternal structure of this world. No matter what you do, it's part of the eternal structure of this world. When Kennedy was shot, that is taking place forever and forever as part of the structure of this world, and the one who pulled the trigger is pulling it forever as part of the structure of this world. God gets into this world as a sojourner, and in this is the land that is not his, as it were. In this he is as a slave, took upon himself the form of man, and became obedient unto death, even death upon the cross. Philippians 2, 6, 8. Death upon the cross, we think it took place on the north shore of Africa 2,000 years ago. Now listen to the next line in this statement. And they will be oppressed for 400 years. Afterward, they will come out and have great possessions. 400 years. The last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the 22nd letter, Tau, has a numerical value of 400 and the symbolical value of a cross. The symbol of Tau is a cross, and it is numerically 400. So here, for 400 years. Not 400 years as we measure time. No, this is the journey. We are sojourners in a land that is not ours. And while we journey, we are enslaved. And while we are enslaved, we are oppressed for the length of time that it takes for us to come out with great possessions. And the possession is not only the kingdom of God. We will possess not only the kingdom, we possess the king, Ezekiel 44:28. We possess a presence. The presence is God. So we go through the horror of the world and come out as God. God becomes as we are that we may be as he is. So that's the story of this journey. That is a horrible journey. Frightful horror. But in the end, we possess a great man and great possessions, and possess a presence, and the presence is God. All ends run true to origins, If the origin is God, the end is God. You see yonder fields. The sesame was sesame, the corn was corn. The silence and the darkness knew, and so was a man's fate born. Light of Asia. So the origin is God, and the end is God. There is nothing but God. So in this story he makes the statement, before Abraham was, I am. Your father Abraham rejoiced that he was to see my day. He saw it, and he was glad. They said to him, Why, you are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham. He said, Before Abraham was, I am. So I stand before you now. I am approaching 59, and yet I know there's a David. For David is my son. Is a father not older than his son? Did he not call me father? Did David not call me Lord? What think ye of the Christ? Whose son is he? The son of David. The son of David? Why then did David in the Spirit call him Lord? If David doth call him Lord, how can he be David's son? Matthew 22:42. But you're not yet 50. It doesn't matter. You say he is 3,000 years from this moment in time. Well, he called me Father. If he calls me Father, am I not older than he is? Well, he called me Father. So he called me Father. Am I not older than Abraham? Then who are you talking about? I am talking only, at every moment of time, about God. There's nothing but God. So, what shall I give you? What was the answer to that statement? O Lord God, let thy promise to David my father be now fulfilled. 2 Chronicles 1:9. Well, what was that promise? That when your days are fulfilled and you lie down with your fathers, I will raise up your son after you, who shall come forth from your body. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. 2 Samuel 7:12. Let that promise now be fulfilled. So he brings forth from humanity, from you, from the back of your skull. That's the being I will bring out of you. You're 100 years old. That's Koph, the back of the skull. I will bring forth from you a son. And so he laughed. The whole thing was crazy, ridiculous. It's so unnatural. It's not something that could ever happen in eternity. This is not a natural birth. It's a spiritual birth, born from above, not from below. And so he comes out. Let it happen now, said he. But before it happens, can I ask for anything else? Certainly. Listen to these words. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. You want to check it? The 14th chapter, the 14th verse of the Gospel of John. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Well, who is speaking? They never once addressed him as Jesus. They spoke of him, but never addressed him as Jesus. Jesus and Jehovah are one and the same. When we translate the word Jehovah, Yod He Vav He, which is really I am, we always speak of it as the Lord. Only on rare occasions do we say I am, as in Exodus. Go and say unto them, I am sent you. I am that I am. I am what I am. I am who I am. But beyond this and a few statements, it's always translated as the Lord. So they speak of him as the Lord in the New Testament, not Jesus. No one addresses him as Jesus. And then, Jesus, tell us so and so. But Lord, show us the way. I am the way. Lord, show us the Father. I am the Father. So always, the Lord is the name given to him. So when he's called the Lord, he's called the Father. So here, if you ask anything in my name, I will do it. So the name is not Jesus. The name is not Jehovah. The name is not the Lord. The name is I am. That's the name. Well, how would I ask for health or wealth or fame in his name? By daring to assume that I am healthy when the doctors give me no hope. By daring to assume that I am wealthy when all my creditors are on my neck. By daring to assume that I am known when I am, by reason of my senses, unknown. And so daring to assume that I am that which I want to be, when at the moment of my assumption reason and my senses deny it, is asking in his name. There is no other name. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Well then, test him. You're invited to test him. Come prove him and see. Do you not know that Jesus Christ is in thee? Unless, of course, you fail to meet the test. 2 Corinthians 13:5. So we're invited to test him in his name. And his name is I am. Let everyone dare to assume that I am, and then name it. Then see the world as you would see it were it true. What evidence have I that I really am this before it becomes objective to the world? Well, the only evidence that I have now is to see on the faces of my friends an expression implying recognition of that which I am. Let me look at my friends mentally and see them seeing me as they would see me were it true. Let me now see my world as I would see it were it true. And then, if in the not distant future I crystallize that which I am assuming into this world, by a way that consciously I could never devise, the thing happens. Then haven't I found him, and I know who he is? Well, I tell you, this story is true from beginning to end, but not as the world sees it. They're trying to see it as secular history, and it's not. It's divine history. The whole drama unfolds in man, and the story of Abraham is true. In the depths of the soul, God slept. It is God who fell asleep. It is God who fell to make sons, to bring us into the world as sons. And because the Father and the Son are one, if the Father and the Son are one, then the Son must be Father. If he's a Father, then there must be a Son. And who is that Son? If I and my Father are one, and my Father is Father, then who is the Son? David. David is the Son of God. Jesus Christ is God the Father. It's Jesus Christ in us that is buried that must awaken. And as he awakens and is the Father, then how do I know I am a father? Where is the Son? And then comes David. Now, the 19th letter, Kuf, is the back of the head. Out of that will come the child. You'll be born right out of the back of that skull of yours. I'm speaking from experience. I am not theorizing. Having come out of the back of the head, then there must be a son bearing witness of the being that you are. The next letter is Resh, and its value is 200. Its symbol is the head, but the crown of the head, the whole head, but above all, the crown of the head. All right, so out of the crown of the head will come this explosion, and right before you, one day will stand this immortal son, David. You look into his face, and you see David, and he will call you Father. Now, you are only 50 years old. And you not yet 50 years old, and you know David? Yes. Before David was, I am. Well, I am is the name of his father. His father was called Jesse, and Jesse is any form of the verb to be. It is I am. And so he calls you Father. And so you look right into the eyes of David, and yet in this world of mortality, you're only 50. And you can say, yes, before David was, I am, because the Father precedes the Son, and the Son calls you Father. And so you will know, in the eyes of those who are still blind, you are only 50. And they know your background. They know exactly where you began in this linear world, as one, blind as it were. So you know, in spite of what they think you are, you have experienced the fatherhood of David, and David is God's only begotten son. Thou art my son, today I have begotten thee. The 2nd Psalm, 7th verse. It's addressed to David, in spite of the priesthoods of the world. No matter how they try to justify it and call that Jesus Christ, they are in error. They're not speaking from experience, they're theorizing. And the whole vast world takes the word of God and theorizes it and comes up with false conclusions because their premises are wrong. Their beginnings are wrong. It is David. And when you see him, you know without any uncertainty that he is your son. And he knows without any uncertainty you are his father. It is David that God buried in the mind of man. as told us in the 3rd chapter, the 11th verse of the book of Ecclesiastes. And God has placed eternity into the mind of man, yet so that man cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. But at the end he will. When man comes to the last days of his journey, when the pilgrimage is over and the oppression is over, and he comes into his inheritance, then David explodes out of his brain. From the top of his head this time, not from the base of his skull. He came out of the base of his skull, but the Son of God, buried in his head, comes out of the top of his skull, the King, and he is the Father of that only begotten Son. The Son calls him Father, and he sees him, and they both meet in an understanding that no one on this level could really grasp. So I say, believe it. Believe it, because the beatitude is pronounced upon those who did not see and yet believed. By seeing, they didn't experience it, and yet they believed the one who tells them he has experienced it. That beatitude is given to us at the end of the 20th chapter of the Gospel of John. So they may not see, yet they believed. But many who did not see still would not believe, because they insisted on taking it on this level. I tell you, Abraham rejoiced that he was to see this day, my day. He saw it, experienced it, and was glad. So this is the story. What shall I give you? You can ask this night for help. You can ask for anything in this world. But the day will come that you'll have a hunger that only an experience of God can satisfy. I will send a famine upon the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of God, a hunger that only an experience of God can satisfy. Amos 8:11. And so, until that hunger comes upon you, believe the one who had such a hunger, whose hunger has been satisfied by having experienced David as his son, and can with Scripture, what think ye of the Christ? Whose son is he? And when they answer, why the son of David? Then he replied, why then did David in the Spirit call him Father? He called him Adonai, my Lord, which is the name used by every son of his father. Every son referred to his father as Adonai, my Lord. So David calls him my Lord. How then can he be David's son? So tonight, you can ask for anything in his name, if you know his name. Get down on your knees and say, in the name of Jesus, not a thing is going to work. In the name of God, in the name of Jehovah, name of this, no answer, no response. Ask in his name, and his name is I am. So without any help from anyone in this world, dare to assume I am, and then name it. I am employed, gainfully employed. Don't ask others if you can make it. I'm gainfully employed, making more than I have ever made in my life. Let them say what they will. Things will reshuffle themselves in this world. And you, by being faithful to his name, will externalize what you are claiming by your assumption, and it becomes fact. Then you can share it with the whole vast world. So, if you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Who will do it? Jesus on the outside? No. Jesus is in you. God became man that man may become God. Listen to the words, do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in thee? Unless, of course, you fail to meet the test. I am quoting from Paul's letters to the Corinthians. It's the 13th chapter, the last chapter of 2 Corinthians. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in thee? Verse 5. Well, if he is in me and making these statements, ask in my name. Well then, I know his name. He said, I am the truth. You mean of anything that I claim? Yes, because all things are possible to God, and his name is I am. And I am the truth? The truth of what? The truth that is confined to the evidence of my senses? Certainly not. Truth is determined by the intensity of my imagination, not upon the evidence of my senses. So I dare to assume that I am what I want to be, and assuming it Remaining faithful to it, I externalize it. It becomes a fact in my world. So here, ask what I shall give you. The day will come you will ask, as Solomon asked, let thy promise to David my father be now fulfilled. And that promise, let the son be born. For he promised him that when his days are fulfilled, and he lies down with his fathers, he will raise up after him his son, who will come out of his body, and that you will be the father, and he will be your son. Let that now be done. Let him come out. Let him bring forth David out of me. For David, the origin is David. The end is David. Bring him out of me. If you bring him out of me and your name is I am, or Jesse, and I see David, then I am Jesse. I am the I am of whom I spoke and others discussed, but I didn't know it. So I say believe it. Believe it, because the beatitude is pronounced upon those who did not see and yet believed. By seeing they didn't experience it, and yet they believed the one who tells them he has experienced it. That beatitude is given to us at the end of the 20th chapter of the Gospel of John. So they may not see, yet they believed. But many who did not see still would not believe, because they insisted on taking it on this level. I tell you, Abraham rejoiced that he was to see this day my day. He saw it, experienced it, and was glad. So this is the story. What shall I give you? You can ask this night for help. You can ask for anything in this world. But the day will come that you'll have a hunger that only an experience of God can satisfy. I will send a famine upon the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of God, a hunger that only an experience of God can satisfy. Amos 8:11. And so, until that hunger comes upon you, believe the one who had such a hunger, whose hunger has been satisfied by having experienced David as his son, and can with Scripture, what think ye of the Christ? Whose son is he? And when they answer, why the son of David? Then he replied, why then did David in the Spirit call him Father? He called him Adonai, my Lord, which is the name used by every son of his father. Every son referred to his father as Adonai, my Lord. So David calls him my Lord. How then can he be David's son? So tonight, you can ask for anything in his name, if you know his name. Get down on your knees and say, in the name of Jesus, not a thing is going to work. In the name of God, in the name of Jehovah, name of this, no answer, no response. Ask in his name, and his name is I am. So without any help from anyone in this world, dare to assume I am, and then name it. I am employed, gainfully employed. Don't ask others if you can make it. I'm gainfully employed, making more than I have ever made in my life. Let them say what they will. Things will reshuffle themselves in this world. And you, by being faithful to his name, will externalize what you are claiming by your assumption, and it becomes fact. Then you can share it with the whole vast world. So, if you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Who will do it? Jesus on the outside? No. Jesus is in you. God became man, that man may become God. Listen to the words, do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in thee? Unless, of course, you fail to meet the test. I am quoting from Paul's letters to the Corinthians. It's the 13th chapter, the last chapter of 2 Corinthians. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in thee? Verse 5. Well, if he is in me and making these statements, ask in my name. Well then, I know his name. He said, I am the truth. You mean of anything that I claim? Yes, because all things are possible to God, and his name is I am. And I am the truth? The truth of what? The truth that is confined to the evidence of my senses? Certainly not. Truth is determined by the intensity of my imagination, not upon the evidence of my senses. So I dare to assume that I am what I want to be, and assuming it, remaining faithful to it, I externalize it. It becomes a fact in my world. So here, ask what I shall give you. The day will come you will ask, as Solomon asked, let thy promise to David my father be now fulfilled. And that promise, let the son be born. For he promised him that when his days are fulfilled, and he lies down with his fathers, he will raise up after him his son, who will come out of his body, and that you will be the father, and he will be your son. Let that now be done. Let him come out. Let him bring forth David out of me. For David, the origin is David, the end is David. Bring him out of me. If you bring him out of me, and your name is I Am, or Jesse, and I see David, then I am Jesse. I am the I Am of whom I spoke and others discussed, but I didn't know it. Suddenly he comes out, and the only way in this world I would ever know that I am he is by the Son. For no one knows who the Father is except the Son, and no one knows who the Son is except the Father. Matthew 11:27. So if I could only know it by reason of the Son, then let that Son come. Bring him out. So what comes out of David but David? He brings David out. Well then, if he brings him out of me, this garment must have been David. Humanity then is David. The whole vast world of mankind is David. But bring something out that I know when I see him. It's altogether different. And you do. Well, then who brought him out? It came out of me. He actually came out of me, and I saw him, and he called me Father. You dwell upon it. It's something entirely different, but you dwell upon it. It's far more than if this night I put into the hands of everyone here a fabulous earthly fortune, for the earthly fortune disappears. It all withers. It all vanishes like smoke. But this of which I speak never passes away. This is the immortal faith. And so, you can have anything in this world that you want, but anything, if you ask in his name, and his name is I Am. But the day will come, you will have a hunger that not a thing in this world, you can go from lecture to lecture, from place to place, and nothing can satisfy you but an experience of God, to know that God really exists, and God is a person. You're a person. Well, God is a person in your own very being. He becomes you and raises you up through this horrible experience that, listen to the words, your descendants will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs. Can't take one piece with you. If Rockefeller dies tonight, he can't take 1 shilling with him. Has to leave it just where it is, as his father did and his grandfather did. His grandfather left $1 billion. Couldn't take a penny with him. And then the father left hundreds of millions, and he couldn't take 1/2 penny with him. All the others will leave it all behind, and they can't take a penny with them. Leave it just where it is. So they will be in a land that is not theirs, and while in that land, they will be as slaves. Who is not a slave? Can Rockefeller buy health with billions of dollars? Oh yes, he can have all the doctors in the world, all the services of doctors, but can't buy health. I know people sell you health out of bottles and out of health stores and all kinds of things. And those who run the little businesses from their health stores die just as young and just as painfully as the others. So they all have the same exit, with all their little things, selling you all kinds of things. You will live forever. At 40, you read his obituary. And so, they play all these little parts. They're all slaves in this world. And they will be, as we are told, oppressed for 400 years, as long as they wear the cross of the flesh. This is the cross on which Jesus Christ is crucified, not any wooden cross. This cross, this is the 400 years, the Tau, the 22nd letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It is on this, not 400 years by measure of time, but as long as it takes to bring me out. There is one disconcerting note in the 28th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, which I would not fret, but the whole chapter implies that the time is not really measured as we understand time. that if at the very end of what we should think would be the whole journey, we start it all over again. Start it all over again. It is not explained why, because God is playing the parts, and I can't understand how God could fail in what he has predetermined. I can't. But, nevertheless, there is the word of God in the 28th of Deuteronomy. But I will say to everyone, don't be disturbed by it. The end is determined. God will not fail. He will not fail. He brings everyone out. And when he brings us out, we're all equal. We're all God the Father, and all have the same Son. What symbol in this world would make you and I one more than to be the father of the same Son? If you look into the eyes of my son, and you know he's your son, and I look into the eyes of that same son, and know he is my son, are we not one Father? For in that day the Lord will be one, and his name one. Will be one, although seemingly many. So it is a oneness made up of many. So hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Hear, O Israel, the Lord. And the word Lord is the I am. Our God, our I ams, is one I am. So the whole vast world of everyone can say, I am. And that forms our God. And together it is the I am, the one Father of the one Son, and we're all the Father of that one Son, so we're all one. And that's how it unfolds in this world. Now, what I'm telling you this night, I'm telling you from experience. I am not theorizing. I've gone on panels with priests, with rabbis, with Protestant ministers, with great educators, and they stand aghast because it's not what they ever conceived. I can't blame them. It has not been revealed to them. They're speculating, and I am not speculating. I'm not trying to set up some workable philosophy of life. I'm telling you what happened to me. It happened to me as naturally as a natural physical birth happens to another. So I think it, at the moment, disturbing, and then you go back into Scripture and you read it to find it was all foretold. Now listen to this lovely poem by Edward Thomas. Now first as I shut the door, I was alone in the new house, and the wind began to moan. Old at once was the house, and I was old. My ears were teased by the dread of what was foretold. Nights of storm, days of mist without end, sad days when the sun shone in vain. Old griefs and griefs not yet begun. All was foretold me, naught could I foresee. But I learned how the wind would sound after these things should be. You dwell upon it. The new house, God enters this world of death. For we're all dead. We're part of the eternal structure of the universe. Every garment in the world. It's new. He buries himself and shuts the door, and he's alone in the new house. Then the wind began to moan. In Scripture, the wind and the Spirit are one and the same word. And then the whole thing is foretold him, but naught could he foresee. The horrible oppression in the land of Egypt, this world. And only at the very end do you really realize how the wind really sounds. All was foretold me, naught could I foresee. But I learned how the wind would sound after these things should be. May I tell you, when this thing happens that was foretold in the beginning, I'll give you a son when you're 100 years old, and da to the back of your head. That's where you'll come from. And I fall on my face and laugh. It's ridiculous. It's the most unnatural thing in the world. Or maybe I rejoice because I saw it and was glad. But then the journey starts. And, oh, what horrible nights and misty days when the sun shone in vain. But I didn't quite understand until the very end. The story is, but I learned how the wind would sound after these things should be. And when it happens, now you know how the wind really sounds. The whole house vibrates like a cyclone, and you don't know what is causing it, and you wonder where it is coming from. You feel it in you, and yet you feel it coming from the far corner of the room. And then come the wise men to discover what has happened. Now listen to the words, and Abraham sat in the door of his tent in the heat of the day, and looked up, and beheld 3 men standing before him. They were not seen approaching. Suddenly they are standing before him, 3 men, exactly as described in the 18th chapter of Genesis. Suddenly, 3 men stand before him, and the wind begins to moan. They too are disturbed. And may I tell you, of the 3, 2 also laugh. They laugh because it seems to them incredible what one is announcing, that the child is born. One announces it. And 2 are completely hysterical with laughter, because what has happened shouldn't happen. It's incredible. But he presents the evidence of what he's declared. And then, and only then, do you know. So I learned then how the wind would sound after these things should be. So believe it, and let that beatitude be pronounced upon you who have not seen and yet believed. You haven't had the experience, but believe one who has had the experience. I am not theorizing. I am speaking from experience, and a truth which man knows from experience. He knows more thoroughly than he knows anything else in this world, or than he can know that same truth in any other way. You know it tonight because you believe me. I hope you do, but you don't know it to the extent you will know it after. These things should be in you when you experience it. So I tell you, no matter what you hear from others, if they experience it, they will duplicate what you've heard from this platform tonight. If they have not had the experience, they'll speculate from now till the ends of time, and might be persuaded and try to convince you of the reality of their speculations. So, it's entirely up to you. I am not theorizing. So what shall I give you? The last question, or the last one, is, let it now be fulfilled. What fulfilled? The promise you made to David my father, and that is that you'd bring out of him a son, and the son will be your son, and you will be that son's father. Let it now be fulfilled. That comes from the very top of the skull, Resh. Before that is fulfilled, you have to come out of the back of the skull cope. And so you are the Abraham when it happens, and you are 100 years old, though in the body you're but 50. The 100 is Kof, and the symbol is the back of the skull. Out you come, and you are born, and you see the symbol of your birth. The next one is the explosion from Resh, the top of the skull, and that which comes out is David, and he's your son. So here we are in the spirit of Christmas, a week from tomorrow. The whole vast Christian world will celebrate the birth of Christ, and I wonder what proportion of a nth part of 1% will really know the story. They've been taught it, but may I tell you, they've been taught it erroneously. They're now making some great caravan to go off to Jerusalem to find the birthplace. He wasn't born there at all. To find where they put him in some sepulcher, and he wasn't buried there at all. It is God who became man, that man may become God, and he's buried in man's wonderful human skull. That's where he's buried, and it's from there that he will be resurrected. There's no other place in the world from which he'll be resurrected. He's resurrected right out of your own wonderful skull, and the whole drama takes place there. And so, every word of Scripture is literally true in the depths of the soul, but not on the level where now man finds himself in the world of Caesar. Now let us go into the Silenza, and if tonight you really want a home, more than you really want. Solomon's request, which you read in the first chapter of 2 Corinthians. If you want a home, or you want a job, or you want money, or you want these things more, don't for 1 second let anyone divert you. You can get them. If you ask anything in my name, I'll do it. You don't have to ask for Solomon's request. You can ask for dresses, for suits, for homes, for fame, for anything. But ask it in my name.
There is a power greater than any force of the world, a stillness that holds the key to all creation. It requires no words, no actions, and no outward signs. This power lies in silence, a silence so profound it shapes the very fabric of reality. When you desire something, your first instinct may be to speak, to act, or to seek. But the greatest secret is this: speak not of your desire. Instead, enter the sanctuary of your mind and imagine it already fulfilled. The world is but a mirror, reflecting your inner state. What you whisper in the quiet chambers of your being is heard and answered by the infinite. In silence, your imagination awakens. See yourself as the person you wish to be. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, and the certainty as though it were already yours. This is not idle fantasy, it is the blueprint of creation. The external world bends to the power of an inner conviction held in the stillness of your soul. Why silence? Because in silence there is no contradiction. In the noise of the world, doubts creep in. You question, you fear, you analyze. But in the quiet, where no voice opposes, your wish takes root and grows. Silence is the fertile ground where belief flourishes. Be deliberate in your imaginings. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and rest in the knowing that it is done. Do not let the outside world sway you, for it is merely a reflection of your past imaginings. Hold fast to the vision in your silence and watch as reality reshapes itself to your desire. Faith is not shouting your dreams into the void. Faith is walking through the world as though they are already yours, detached from the need to explain or justify. Let your silence speak. It is in this state of quiet confidence that anything you wish will happen. Persist in your silence. Persist in your vision. The world may try to pull you back into its noise, but remember, the secret of creation lies within you, in the quiet where imagination becomes reality. Be still, and know that your desires are already yours. The power of silence is one of the most profound tools in the process of manifestation. When we speak of silence, it is not merely the absence of sound, but a deep, intentional stillness that allows the creative forces within to operate without interruption. This silence is the space where ideas are conceived, shaped, and brought into reality. In silence, we discover the true power of the mind, a power that does not require the noise of words or the clamor of actions to express itself. In the world of creation, silence acts as the womb where desires are nurtured. To manifest anything, it is essential to retreat into this quiet space, shutting out the distractions of the external world. It is here, in this inward focus, that you connect with the source of all creation. The external world is but a reflection of the internal state, and silence is the bridge that allows you to travel inward and bring forth what you desire. When you are silent, you are free from the doubts and fears that often accompany spoken words. Words, while powerful, can sometimes carry unintended consequences. They may invite skepticism, judgment, or even self-doubt when shared prematurely. Silence, however, protects the purity of your desires. It creates a shield around your vision, allowing it to grow undisturbed by external influences. In silence, you engage directly with the imagination. The imagination is the workshop of the mind, and it requires focus and clarity to operate effectively. When you visualize your desire in silence, you eliminate distractions and create a vivid, undistorted picture of your goal. You see yourself as the person you wish to be, living the life you wish to live, with every detail as real as the present moment. This clarity of vision is essential for manifestation, as it sets the blueprint for reality to follow. Silence also allows you to cultivate the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Feeling is the essence of manifestation. It is the language that the creative force within you understands. In silence, you can immerse yourself in the emotions associated with your desire. You can feel the joy, the satisfaction, and the gratitude as though your wish has already come true. This emotional state is a powerful signal to the unseen forces of the universe, a declaration that your desire is already a reality. Moreover, silence enhances your ability to trust in the process. When you are silent, you learn to rely on your inner faith rather than seeking validation or reassurance from the outside world. You do not need to explain your desires or defend them to others. You do not need to argue or convince. Instead, you simply know with quiet certainty that your desire is on its way. This inner faith is unshakable because it is rooted in the understanding that the power to create lies within you, not outside of you. In the practice of silence, there is also a natural detachment that arises. Detachment does not mean you stop caring about your desire. Rather, it means you release the need to control the how and when of its fulfillment. You focus solely on the end result, trusting that the details will be taken care of. Silence supports this detachment by keeping your attention on the inner world of imagination and feeling rather than the outer world of circumstances and appearances. The world we live in often encourages noise, constant talking, planning, and reacting. Yet it is in silence that the most significant transformations occur. History is filled with examples of individuals who retreated into silence to discover their greatest insights and achieve their most extraordinary creations. In silence, you tap into a source of wisdom and power that transcends the limitations of the conscious mind. To harness the power of silence, practice regularly withdrawing from the noise of the world. Find a quiet space where you can focus inward without interruption. Close your eyes and imagine your desire as though it were already real. Engage all your senses in this mental exercise, feeling the reality of your wish as vividly as possible. Let the emotions of joy and gratitude flood your being. In this state of silent creation, you are planting the seeds of your future. Be mindful of your inner dialogue during these moments of silence. Pay attention to the thoughts and feelings that arise and gently redirect them toward your vision if they stray. The mind may wander, but with practice you will learn to maintain focus and clarity. This discipline is not about suppressing thoughts, but about choosing where to place your attention. As you continue to practice the art of silence, you will notice subtle but profound changes in your life. You will become more attuned to the whispers of intuition and the signs that guide you toward your desires. You will find yourself acting in ways that align with your vision, often without conscious effort. This is the natural result of the creative process set in motion by silence. The power of silence is available to everyone, yet few truly understand its potential. It is not a passive state, but an active engagement with the inner world. It is a deliberate choice to turn inward, to imagine, to feel, and to trust. In this silence, you are not waiting for your desires to happen, you are actively creating them. You are becoming the person you wish to be, and in doing so, you are reshaping your reality. Let silence be your ally in the journey of creation. Embrace it as a sacred space where all things are possible. Trust in its power, and you will see that anything you wish can and will happen. The inner voice is the architect of your reality, a constant companion that shapes your experience of the world. It is through this inner dialogue that you create the life you live, whether consciously or unconsciously. The power of this voice lies not in its volume, but in its intent and persistence. It is your constant self-talk, the silent conversation you hold with yourself day and night, that determines what you experience. Understanding this truth is the foundation of deliberate creation. Every word spoken internally carries creative power. Your inner voice acts as a directive force, issuing commands to the unseen reality around you. When you tell yourself, I am successful, I am healthy, or I am loved, you are laying the groundwork for these states to manifest in your life. On the other hand, when your inner voice is filled with doubt, fear, or negativity, you unknowingly build barriers to the very things you desire. The key, therefore, is to master your inner dialogue and align it with the outcomes you seek. The inner voice operates with a profound and unwavering influence because it is closely tied to your beliefs. What you repeatedly affirm to yourself becomes the foundation of your belief system, and it is through these beliefs that reality takes shape. If you affirm abundance and prosperity, you cultivate a mindset that perceives and attracts opportunities for growth. If you affirm lack and limitation, your mind filters reality through that lens, reinforcing scarcity. The inner voice is the programmer of your mental and emotional state, and by extension, the creator of your external experiences. When you understand the role of your inner voice as the architect, you realize the importance of consciously directing it. This does not mean forcing yourself into hollow affirmations or denying how you feel. Instead, it involves a deliberate shift toward nurturing thoughts that reflect the reality you wish to experience. This requires mindfulness and awareness of the habitual patterns of thought that run in the background of your mind. Pay attention to these patterns, for they are the blueprint of your current circumstances. The inner voice is most effective when it speaks from a place of conviction. There is a significant difference between saying, "I want to be successful and I am successful." The former implies lack, a desire for something not yet attained, while the latter affirms the state as already achieved. When your inner voice assumes the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it sets into motion the forces necessary to bring that reality into being. It is not enough to think positively, you must think from the end, as though your desire has already been realized. This requires imagination, the faculty through which the inner voice brings its creations to life. The imagination is the canvas, and your inner dialogue is the brush. When you vividly imagine the outcome you desire and accompany it with affirming inner speech, you give life to your vision. Imagine yourself living in the state you wish to achieve. Hear your inner voice expressing gratitude and joy for the reality you have created. These imaginings are not idle fantasies, they are the seeds planted in the fertile ground of your subconscious mind, ready to grow into tangible experiences. The subconscious mind does not discern between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It accepts as true whatever is impressed upon it with feeling and repetition. Your inner voice is the primary tool for this impression. When you persistently affirm a state of being, your subconscious mind accepts it as fact and works to align your external reality accordingly. This alignment is not always immediate, but it is inevitable if you remain steadfast in your inner dialogue. The importance of persistence cannot be overstated. Your inner voice may initially resist change, especially if it has been conditioned by years of negative or limiting beliefs. This resistance is natural, but it is not insurmountable. With patience and determination, you can reprogram your inner dialogue to reflect the life you wish to create. Every time you catch yourself thinking in a way that contradicts your desire, gently redirect your inner voice toward the positive affirmation of your goal. This practice is not about suppressing negative thoughts, but about replacing them with thoughts that serve your highest good. The inner voice is also a tool for maintaining focus and clarity. In a world filled with distractions, it is easy to lose sight of your goals and become entangled in the noise of daily life. Your inner dialogue serves as an anchor, reminding you of your intentions and keeping you aligned with your vision. When doubts or fears arise, your inner voice has the power to reassure you and reaffirm your faith in the process of creation. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend, with kindness, encouragement, and unwavering belief in your potential. One of the most empowering aspects of the inner voice is its accessibility. It requires no special tools, no external validation, and no approval from others. It is entirely within your control, available to you at every moment. This autonomy makes the inner voice one of the most effective and reliable instruments for transformation. You do not need to rely on circumstances or other people to change your life. You only need to change the way you speak to yourself internally. Mastering the inner voice is a journey, one that requires practice, patience, and a commitment to self-awareness. As you cultivate a positive and affirming inner dialogue, you will notice subtle shifts in your perception and experiences. Opportunities that once seemed distant will appear within reach. Relationships, health, and financial well-being will begin to reflect the changes you have made within. The outer world will echo the new story your inner voice is telling. The inner voice is not merely a passive observer of your life, it is an active participant and creator. When directed with intention, it becomes a powerful force for transformation. Through deliberate and consistent practice, you can harness the creative power of your inner dialogue and shape the reality you desire. Clarity of purpose is one of the most important elements in the process of creation, and it is through stillness that this clarity emerges. In the noise of everyday life, it is easy to become distracted, pulled in multiple directions, and overwhelmed by conflicting desires. However, when you enter a state of stillness, you create a space for focus, intention, and understanding to rise to the surface. This stillness is not passive or empty, it is a deliberate pause, a moment of alignment where the power of purpose becomes undeniable. When you quiet the mind, the true essence of your desires can be discerned. Too often, individuals attempt to manifest their wishes without fully understanding what they truly want. They are influenced by external expectations, fleeting emotions, or societal pressures, leading to scattered intentions and diluted efforts. Stillness allows you to strip away these distractions and connect with your deepest and most authentic desires. It is in this quiet space that you can ask yourself, what do I really want? What is the feeling I seek? The answers that emerge from stillness are untainted by fear or doubt, carrying a purity that aligns with the creative force within. This clarity of purpose serves as the foundation upon which manifestation is built. Without it, the mind becomes fragmented, unable to focus its energy effectively. Imagine a beam of light scattered across many directions. It is dim and weak. But when that light is concentrated into a single point, it becomes powerful enough to cut through steel. So it is with the mind. When you are clear about your purpose, every thought, every feeling, and every action aligns with that purpose, creating a powerful and unwavering force that brings your desires into reality. Stillness also enables you to tune into the subtle yet profound guidance of intuition. In the quiet moments of stillness, your inner being speaks to you, offering insights and solutions that might otherwise go unnoticed. These whispers of intuition often point the way toward your goal, illuminating paths that are both effortless and aligned. The rational mind, while valuable, is limited in scope, often constrained by logic and past experiences. Stillness allows you to transcend these limitations and access a deeper wisdom that sees beyond the present circumstances. Another significant benefit of stillness is its ability to dissolve resistance. Resistance is the internal tension that arises when your desires conflict with your beliefs or when fear and doubt cloud your mind. This resistance can block the flow of creative energy, preventing your desires from manifesting. In stillness, you create a space where resistance naturally dissipates. As you quiet the mind and let go of the need to control, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities of creation. It is not through force or struggle that manifestations occur, but through ease and alignment, which stillness fosters. Through stillness, you also develop a heightened sense of awareness, an ability to observe your thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled in them. This awareness is crucial because it allows you to identify any patterns or beliefs that may be hindering your progress. When you notice a thought that contradicts your purpose, stillness gives you the space to gently redirect it toward a more empowering perspective. This practice of observation and redirection ensures that your mind remains focused on your goal, free from distractions and negativity. Clarity of purpose does not require constant effort or struggle. It requires consistency and alignment. Stillness is the means by which you return to alignment whenever you feel disconnected or uncertain. By creating moments of stillness in your daily life, you cultivate a habit of intentionality, a practice of pausing to reconnect with your vision. These moments do not need to be long or elaborate. Even a few minutes of quiet reflection can have a profound impact, allowing you to realign with your purpose and renew your focus. Stillness also reveals the importance of simplicity in the process of manifestation. Clarity of purpose often means letting go of the unnecessary and the extraneous. It means focusing on one desire at a time, giving it your full attention and energy until it becomes reality. Trying to achieve too many things at once scatters your energy, diluting the creative power of your mind. Stillness helps you identify the single most important goal and commit to it fully, trusting that everything else will fall into place. The relationship between stillness and clarity of purpose extends beyond the mind and into the emotional realm. When you are still, you become more attuned to the feelings associated with your desires. You can fully embody the emotions of joy, gratitude, and fulfillment that come with the realization of your goal. These feelings are the language of the creative force within, a signal that you are in alignment with your purpose. Stillness amplifies these feelings, allowing them to permeate your being and resonate with the reality you wish to create. Stillness is not a state of inactivity, but a dynamic process of creation. It is in this state that you set your intentions with precision and allow them to take root in the fertile ground of your subconscious mind. Just as a sculptor begins with a clear vision of the form they wish to create, so too must you approach manifestation with a clear and focused purpose. The sculptor does not rush or force the process, but works patiently and deliberately, allowing the vision to emerge with each movement. Stillness provides the same opportunity for your desires to unfold naturally and harmoniously. Through stillness, you become a deliberate creator, one who moves with purpose and intention. You no longer rely on chance or external circumstances to shape your reality. Instead, you take full responsibility for your creations, knowing that clarity of purpose nurtured in stillness is the key to bringing your desires into being. This process is not a mystery but a natural law, one that operates with unwavering precision when you align your mind, emotions, and actions with your goal. Imagination is the creative force that shapes the reality we experience. It is through imagination that we give form and substance to our desires, transforming them from mere thoughts into tangible realities. Every aspect of the world around us, from the grandest achievements to the simplest comforts, began as an idea in someone's mind. Imagination is not a passive faculty, it is the active process of envisioning, feeling, and assuming the reality of what we desire to experience. This creative force, when harnessed deliberately, has the power to transform every area of life. To understand the role of imagination in creation, it is essential to recognize that everything in life follows an internal blueprint. This blueprint is formed in the mind, shaped by the images and ideas we hold. The subconscious mind, which is the seat of creation, does not question the reality of what it is shown. It accepts whatever is vividly imagined and felt as true, and it works tirelessly to bring this imagined reality into being. The key, therefore, is to feed the mind with images that reflect the life we wish to live, allowing imagination to act as the architect of our future. When we use imagination, we are not merely daydreaming or indulging in fantasy. We are engaging in a process of intentional creation. This requires clarity and focus. It is not enough to vaguely wish for something, we must see it in our mind's eye with vivid detail and emotional intensity. The more specific and real the image feels, the more powerful its impact on the subconscious mind. For example, if one desires a new home, it is not enough to think of a generic house. One must imagine the specific details, the colors of the walls, the view from the windows, the feeling of walking through each room. This vividness gives the subconscious mind a clear directive to follow. The true power of imagination lies in its ability to evoke emotion. Emotion is the language of the subconscious mind, the energy that brings imagined realities to life. When we imagine something with feeling, we create a vibrational alignment with the state we desire. This emotional resonance is what draws the imagined reality into our experience. It is not simply about visualizing, it is about living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The more we can immerse ourselves in this feeling, the more effectively we harness the creative force of imagination. Imagination also allows us to transcend the limitations of the present moment. It frees us from the constraints of the physical world, enabling us to experience a reality that has not yet materialized. This is a crucial aspect of creation because it shifts our focus from what is to what can be. By consistently imagining a desired outcome, We train our mind to expect and accept it as real. This expectation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as the subconscious mind works to align external circumstances with the internal vision. One of the most profound aspects of imagination is its ability to rewrite the past. While we cannot change the events that have occurred, we can change our perception and interpretation of them through imagination. By reimagining past experiences in a way that empowers us, we release the emotional burdens they may carry and create a new narrative that aligns with our desired state of being. This process not only heals but also liberates us to create a future unburdened by the limitations of the past. Imagination requires discipline and practice. In a world filled with distractions and external influences, it is easy for the mind to drift into reactive thinking. Deliberate use of imagination involves consciously choosing the images and feelings we entertain. This practice is like tending a garden. We must carefully plant the seeds of our desires, nurture them with attention and emotion, and remove any weeds of doubt or negativity that threaten to choke their growth. With consistent effort, imagination becomes a powerful and reliable tool for creation. Imagination is also a source of inspiration and guidance. When we imagine a desired outcome, we often receive intuitive insights and ideas about how to bring it into reality. These flashes of inspiration are the subconscious mind's way of guiding us toward the fulfillment of our desires. It is important to act on these insights with confidence and trust, knowing that they are aligned with the vision we have created in our imagination. Furthermore, imagination influences not only our internal state but also our interactions with the world around us. When we consistently imagine and feel ourselves as confident, successful, or loving, we project this energy outward, attracting people and circumstances that reflect it. The external world is a mirror of our inner state, and imagination is the tool through which we shape that state. By mastering our imagination, we become deliberate creators of both our inner experience and our outer reality. Imagination is not limited by time or space. It allows us to explore possibilities, experiment with ideas, and create new realities in the realm of the mind. This freedom is what makes imagination such a powerful force. When we embrace it fully, we realize that there are no limits to what we can create. The only constraints are those we impose upon ourselves through doubt, fear, or a lack of belief in our creative power. The process of creation through imagination is both simple and profound. It begins with a clear vision, fueled by intense emotion and sustained through consistent focus. As we engage in this process, we begin to see evidence of our imaginings taking shape in the world around us. These manifestations are not coincidences, but the natural result of the laws of creation at work. Imagination, when used with intention and faith, is the key to unlocking the infinite potential within us. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the cornerstone of creation, the bridge that connects your inner vision with its manifestation in the external world. It is not enough to merely think about or desire something. You must embody the emotional and mental state that would accompany its realization. This principle is both simple and profound, as it shifts the focus from wanting a thing to experiencing it as already accomplished. It is this shift that activates the creative process and aligns your reality with your desires. To understand the power of feeling, it is essential to recognize that every emotion carries a vibrational frequency. This frequency acts as a signal, communicating your state of being to the subconscious mind and the broader field of reality. When you feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, you emit a frequency that matches the state of having. This alignment is the catalyst for change, drawing circumstances, opportunities, and events that resonate with your emotional state into your experience. The challenge lies in maintaining this feeling, particularly when external circumstances appear to contradict your desire. It is natural to observe the current reality and react to it emotionally. However, this reactive state often perpetuates the very conditions you wish to change. The feeling of the wish fulfilled requires a deliberate shift from reacting to circumstances to creating them. It is a practice of turning inward, of finding within yourself the emotional fulfillment you seek in the outer world. This practice begins with imagination. Close your eyes and picture a scene that implies your desire has already been realized. Make this scene as vivid and detailed as possible, engaging all your senses. See yourself in the situation you long for. Hear the sounds, feel the textures, and most importantly, experience the emotions that arise from the fulfillment of your desire. Are you joyful, grateful, at peace? These feelings are the key, as they are the energy that brings your imagined scene to life. Once you have imagined the scene, dwell in the feeling it evokes. Let it saturate your being, as though it is the most natural state in the world. This is not a fleeting or superficial exercise. It is a deep and intentional immersion in the state of fulfillment. The more real it feels to you, the more effectively it impresses upon your subconscious mind. And the subconscious, once impressed, works tirelessly to align your external reality with this internal state. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a passive experience. It requires consistency and persistence, especially in the face of doubt or resistance. Doubts often arise because the current reality does not immediately reflect your desired state. However, the delay is not an indication of failure. It is a natural part of the process. Creation unfolds in its own time, and your role is to maintain the feeling of fulfillment until the external reality catches up. To maintain this feeling, it is helpful to develop habits of gratitude and mindfulness. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing the emotional state of having rather than wanting. Each day, take a moment to appreciate the things in your life that align with your desires, no matter how small they may seem. This practice not only strengthens the feeling of fulfillment, but also opens your eyes to the ways in which your desire is already present in some form. Mindfulness, on the other hand, keeps you anchored in the present moment, preventing your mind from wandering into worry or doubt. When you find yourself slipping into thoughts of lack or fear, gently bring your attention back to the feeling of fulfillment. Remind yourself that the external world is a reflection of your inner state, and that by sustaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are actively shaping your reality. It is also important to act as though your desire is already realized. This does not mean pretending or forcing yourself into inauthentic behaviors. Rather, it means aligning your actions and decisions with the state of having. For example, if you desire success in your career, begin to carry yourself with the confidence and professionalism that success entails. If you desire a loving relationship, treat yourself and others with the kindness and respect you would expect in such a partnership. These actions reinforce the feeling of fulfillment and create a coherent energy that supports your manifestation. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is powerful because it bypasses the barriers of logic and reason. It does not require you to know how your desire will come to pass, only that it already has. This sense of certainty and trust is what allows the creative process to unfold without interference. When you dwell in the feeling of fulfillment, you release the need to control or force outcomes, allowing the natural flow of creation to work on your behalf. Another aspect of this principle is the understanding that you are not creating something new, but revealing what already exists in potential. The state you desire is not separate from you. It is a reality waiting to be claimed. By feeling it as already true, you bring it from possibility into actuality. This realization is liberating, as it shifts your role from that of a seeker to a creator, someone who shapes their reality through intentional feeling. Ultimately, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is a practice of living from the end. It is a way of being that transcends circumstances and aligns you with the reality you desire. By consistently embodying this feeling, you transform your inner world, and as a result, your outer world begins to reflect the changes you have made within. The process is subtle yet profound, a reminder that the power to create lies not in force or effort, but in the quiet certainty of feeling. The subconscious mind is the silent yet powerful partner in the process of creation. It is the fertile ground where seeds of thought and imagination take root, growing into the realities we experience. Unlike the conscious mind, which is analytical and deliberate, the subconscious operates beneath the surface, shaping our lives through patterns, habits, and beliefs that are deeply ingrained. Its power lies in its ability to take whatever is impressed upon it and bring it to fruition without question or hesitation. The subconscious mind does not discern between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what it is fed as true. This is why the images, emotions, and ideas we hold consistently in our minds are so critical. They act as instructions to the subconscious, guiding it to create experiences that align with those inputs. This process happens automatically, but it can also be directed intentionally, allowing you to shape your reality in alignment with your desires. The key to engaging the subconscious mind is repetition combined with emotional intensity. Thoughts and feelings that are repeated often and with conviction become deeply imprinted on the subconscious. These impressions form the foundation of beliefs, which in turn influence every aspect of your life, from the decisions you make to the outcomes you experience. This is why it is vital to consciously choose the thoughts and feelings you entertain, ensuring they reflect the reality you wish to create. One of the most effective ways to communicate with the subconscious mind is through visualization. When you vividly imagine a desired outcome, complete with sensory details and emotional resonance, you create a blueprint for the subconscious to follow. For example, if you wish to experience abundance, you might close your eyes and picture yourself living in a state of financial freedom. Imagine the feeling of security, the joy of sharing your wealth, and the gratitude for the opportunities it brings. By repeating this visualization consistently, you impress the idea of abundance upon your subconscious, which then works to align your outer circumstances with this internal image. The subconscious is particularly receptive during moments of stillness and relaxation. States such as those experienced just before falling asleep or upon waking are ideal for impressing the subconscious mind. During these times, the conscious mind is less active, allowing direct access to the deeper layers of the mind. In these moments, affirmations, visualizations, or imagined scenes can be most effective, as they bypass the critical filters of the conscious mind and go straight to the subconscious. Another powerful tool for influencing the subconscious is affirmations. These are positive statements that reflect the reality you wish to create, spoken as though they are already true. For instance, instead of saying, "I want to be successful," you might affirm, "I am successful and thriving." The subconscious mind responds to the present tense language, interpreting it as an existing reality and working to make it so. To maximize the impact of affirmations, they should be repeated often and paired with the emotions that correspond to their meaning. Feeling the truth of the statement as you say it enhances its effectiveness, creating a stronger impression on the subconscious. The subconscious mind is also deeply influenced by habits and routines. Every action you take reinforces a corresponding belief or pattern within the subconscious. For example, if you consistently act with confidence, even in situations where you initially feel uncertain, your subconscious begins to accept confidence as your natural state. Over time, this becomes an ingrained belief, shaping how you perceive yourself and how others perceive you. By deliberately choosing actions that reflect your desired reality, you can reprogram the subconscious to support and sustain that reality. It is important to be mindful of the messages you send to your subconscious, whether through words, thoughts, or actions. Negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, and fears can all leave impressions on the subconscious that hinder your ability to create the life you desire. For instance, repeatedly telling yourself, "I am not good enough," reinforces a belief in inadequacy that the subconscious takes as fact. This belief then manifests in experiences that confirm it, creating a cycle that can be difficult to break. The way to interrupt this cycle is to consciously replace negative messages with positive, empowering ones that align with your goals. The subconscious mind is also highly responsive to emotions. Feelings such as joy, gratitude, and love carry a high vibrational frequency, creating positive and expansive impressions on the subconscious. Conversely, emotions such as fear, anger, and doubt carry lower frequencies that can block or distort the creative process. By cultivating positive emotions and focusing on the feelings associated with your desired outcomes, you create a harmonious environment for the subconscious to work its magic. Trust is another essential element in working with the subconscious mind. Once you have impressed an idea or desire upon the subconscious, it is crucial to trust that the process is underway. Doubt and impatience can interfere with the natural unfolding of creation, introducing conflicting signals that confuse the subconscious. Instead, maintain a sense of confidence and expectancy, knowing that the subconscious is always at work, even if the results are not immediately visible. The subconscious mind also has an extraordinary ability to solve problems and generate creative solutions. When faced with a challenge, rather than focusing on the problem itself, present the desired solution to your subconscious. For instance, instead of dwelling on a financial difficulty, imagine the problem resolved and feel the relief and gratitude that comes with it. The subconscious will begin to work behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances and ideas that lead to the resolution you seek. In essence, the subconscious mind is a faithful servant, one that tirelessly carries out the commands it receives. The responsibility lies with you to ensure that these commands are intentional, positive, and aligned with your desires. By understanding the workings of the subconscious and cultivating a deliberate relationship with it, you unlock the power to transform your life. This is not a matter of chance or luck, but a natural and accessible process governed by principles that anyone can apply. Through conscious awareness and consistent practice, the creative power of the subconscious becomes a tool for growth, fulfillment, and the realization of your highest potential. Faith is the foundation of creation, the key that unlocks the potential within us to bring our desires into reality. It is through faith that we trust in the unseen, in the power of our inner world to shape our outer experience. Faith is not a passive belief, nor is it something that is reserved for religious or spiritual contexts. It is a dynamic force, a state of mind that aligns us with our desired outcomes and prepares the subconscious mind to act on those desires. To understand the role of faith in creation, we must first acknowledge that all creation begins with thought. Every idea, no matter how small, is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the subconscious mind. The strength of that seed depends on the belief we hold in its potential to grow and manifest. Faith is the energy that nourishes this seed, allowing it to flourish and bring forth its fruit. Without faith, the seed remains dormant, its potential unrealized. With faith, however, the seed grows, and the process of creation is set in motion. Faith operates on the principle of assumption, the idea that if we assume something to be true, our subconscious mind will align with that assumption and work to bring it into being. When we have faith in a desired outcome, we live as though it is already a reality, feeling the emotions associated with its fulfillment. This assumption is not a passive wish, it is an active, living belief that permeates our thoughts, actions, and emotions. It is through this assumption that we begin to see the outward manifestation of our inner desires. The power of faith lies in its ability to overcome doubt and uncertainty. Doubt is the natural enemy of faith, as it creates a contradictory force that weakens the strength of our assumptions. When we doubt, we send conflicting signals to the subconscious mind, undermining the very belief we are trying to cultivate. Faith, on the other hand, is a strong, unwavering force that persists even in the face of evidence to the contrary. It is the willingness to trust in the unseen, to believe in the possibility of the desired outcome, even when current circumstances may suggest otherwise. One of the most important aspects of faith is its ability to transcend the limitations of the present moment. Faith is not about seeing the evidence of the desired outcome before it happens. It is about believing in it before it materializes. This is where many people struggle. They look to their external circumstances
to confirm the validity of their desires. However, the true power of faith is in believing first, and then seeing the evidence follow. Faith requires a shift in perception, a willingness to see beyond the present and trust in the unseen forces that are at work in the creation process. Faith also requires patience. The process of creation is not always immediate. It takes time for the seeds we plant in our minds to germinate and grow. This is where many people falter. They lose faith when results do not appear instantly. Yet the law of creation operates in its own timing. And while we may not see immediate results, the work is being done in the unseen realms. Faith requires us to trust in the process, to know that our desires are already on their way, even when we cannot yet see them. When we trust in the process of creation, we shift our focus from lack to abundance, from the absence of what we desire to the presence of it. This shift is crucial because it aligns us with the vibration of our desired outcome. Faith is the key to maintaining this alignment, as it allows us to focus on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, rather than on the current reality, which may appear to contradict it. When we maintain this focus, we send a clear signal to the subconscious mind, and it responds by orchestrating circumstances that reflect our inner state. Faith also has a profound effect on our actions. When we have faith in our ability to create our desired reality, we act with confidence and purpose. We make decisions based on the assumption that our desires are already ours, and this assumption guides our actions, making them more purposeful and aligned with our goals. Faith empowers us to take bold steps even when the path is unclear, knowing that each step is part of the unfolding process. This confidence and certainty are contagious, inspiring those around us and attracting the circumstances and opportunities that support our goals. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen faith is through repetition. Repeating affirmations, visualizations, and feelings of the wish fulfilled creates a cycle of reinforcement that strengthens our belief in the desired outcome. Each repetition of faith deepens the impression in the subconscious mind, making it more likely that the desire will manifest. This practice is not about forcing belief, but about nurturing it, allowing the seed of faith to grow stronger with each passing day. Another important aspect of faith is the idea of trust. Trust is the belief that the universe, or the creative force, will bring our desires into reality in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Trust removes the need for control or manipulation, allowing us to surrender the how of the process to the subconscious mind and the natural flow of creation. When we trust, we free ourselves from the anxiety of trying to force things to happen, and instead, we allow the natural unfolding of our desires. This trust also aligns us with the flow of life, enabling us to move with greater ease and grace toward our goals. Faith is not about blind belief or wishful thinking. It is a deep, inner knowing that the desired outcome is already on its way. It is the firm conviction that the universe is responsive to our thoughts, feelings, and assumptions, and that what we have imagined is already in the process of becoming real. Faith is the unwavering belief that our desires are valid, that we are worthy of them, and that the creative forces of the universe are always working in our favor. Through faith, we tap into the limitless creative power within us, and through this faith, we begin to shape our reality. Faith is not a passive force, it is an active, dynamic energy that drives the process of creation. By cultivating a strong and unwavering faith in our desires, we align ourselves with the laws of creation and set the stage for our dreams to manifest in our lives. This faith is the force that propels us from where we are to where we wish to be, guiding us along the path of creation with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Living in the end, or living from the end, is a concept that forms the bedrock of all creation. It is the art of assuming that your desires are already fulfilled, even before they physically manifest in the external world. This principle is vital because it establishes a state of being that is in alignment with your desired outcome, allowing you to act, think, and feel as though the desired situation or condition has already occurred. It is a powerful technique that enables you to bridge the gap between what is and what can be, creating a harmonious connection between your inner world and your external reality. To live in the end is to fully embrace the emotional and mental state of already having what you desire. It is not simply wishing for something, nor is it hoping that it will eventually come to pass. Rather, it is the act of embodying the feelings, thoughts, and behaviors that would naturally arise from the fulfillment of that desire. It is a shift from the state of lack or wanting to the state of fulfillment and abundance. When you live from the end, you stop seeing yourself as a person who is striving for something and instead recognize yourself as someone who has already achieved it. This shift in perspective has profound implications on your subconscious mind and your ability to manifest your desires. One of the most important aspects of living in the end is the realization that the external world is simply a reflection of your inner state. The outer world does not create your inner world, rather, it is a mirror of the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you consistently hold within. When you live from the end, you are essentially altering your internal state to match the desired outcome. This alignment sends a powerful message to your subconscious mind, which in turn works tirelessly to manifest that reality in the physical world. The subconscious mind does not question the reality you create through your assumptions and emotions. It simply accepts them as truth and begins to organize your external experiences to match. The process of living in the end requires a conscious decision to abandon the need for evidence or proof in the present moment. It is natural to want to see some form of external validation before fully committing to the idea that your desires will come to fruition. However, the key to living from the end is to release the need for this external validation and instead focus on the internal experience of having. When you live in the end, you make the internal world your priority, knowing that the outer world will eventually catch up with your assumptions. This practice can be most effectively achieved through visualization. By vividly imagining a scene that represents the fulfillment of your desire, you create a mental image that acts as a beacon to the subconscious. For example, if you desire a new home, imagine yourself already living in that home. Picture the layout, the furniture, the view from the windows, and the feelings of comfort and joy that come with it. As you immerse yourself in this visualization, you are aligning your emotional and mental state with that of someone who has already achieved their goal. This emotional state is the key to living in the end, when you can fully feel the emotions that would accompany the fulfillment of your desire. You begin to resonate with the reality you wish to create. Living in the end also requires discipline and persistence. It is easy to be swayed by external circumstances that appear to contradict your desires. When things are not going as planned or when results do not appear immediately, doubt can creep in, pulling you out of the state of living in the end. This is where persistence becomes crucial. It is essential to maintain the assumption of having, regardless of the current circumstances. Your persistence in living from the end creates a vibrational alignment that draws the desired outcome to you, even when there seems to be no logical reason for it to materialize. The power of living in the end also lies in the practice of detachment. This does not mean giving up on your desires or ceasing to care about them. Rather, it means releasing the attachment to the how and when of their fulfillment. When you become overly focused on the timing or the specifics of how your desires will manifest, you often hinder the natural flow of the creation process. Living in the end involves trusting that the universe or the creative power within you will bring about the fulfillment of your desires in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Your role is to align yourself with the feeling of having, and the universe will take care of the rest. Another key component of living in the end is the ability to act as if. Acting as if is an extension of living in the end. It is about embodying the state of being that aligns with your desires. If you desire financial abundance, for example, you might begin to take actions that reflect the confidence and freedom of someone who already has that abundance. This does not mean spending recklessly or pretending to have more than you do, rather. It means making decisions and choices that reflect the reality you are creating. By doing so, you reinforce the assumption that your desired outcome is already in place, which strengthens the connection between your inner world and the external world. Living in the end also involves letting go of the belief in a gap between where you are and where you want to be. Often people think that there is a long journey ahead of them before they can achieve their desires. This belief creates a sense of separation between their present reality and their desired reality. To live from the end is to eliminate this sense of distance and recognize that the desired outcome is not something far off in the future, but something that already exists in the present moment. When you live in the end, you stop measuring the distance between where you are and where you want to be, and instead focus on the feeling of already having arrived. The practice of living in the end is transformative because it changes your relationship with time and space. Time no longer becomes a barrier to the fulfillment of your desires, and space no longer limits the manifestation of your goals. When you live from the end, you transcend the limitations of linear time and recognize that the only time that matters is the present moment. Your internal state, your assumptions, and your feelings are the true creators of your experience, and they are not bound by time or space. In essence, living in the end is about becoming the person who has already achieved what you desire. It is about embodying the emotional and mental state of fulfillment, regardless of external circumstances. This powerful practice shifts your energy from that of a seeker to that of a creator, allowing you to manifest your desires with clarity, confidence, and ease. By consistently living from the end, you align yourself with the reality you wish to create, and the world around you begins to reflect this inner state of fulfillment. In conclusion, the principles explored throughout this journey highlight the transformative power of thought, belief, and inner alignment in creating the reality we desire. We began by understanding the importance of silence and faith in shaping our lives, recognizing that our thoughts, emotions, and assumptions have the power to influence our subconscious mind and ultimately our external experiences. By maintaining a consistent and deliberate focus on the end result, rather than the current circumstances, we unlock the full potential of our creative power. Living from the end, assuming the feelings of the wish fulfilled, and trusting in the subconscious mind's ability to bring our desires into being are all key components of this process. The subconscious mind works tirelessly behind the scenes to bring our inner visions into our outer reality, and it does so most effectively when we embrace the power of faith, trust, and persistence. We also learn that living in alignment with our desires requires us to overcome doubt, detach from the how and when, and confidently act as if our dreams are already realized. The essence of all these principles lies in the understanding that creation begins within us. By nurturing our beliefs, shaping our inner world, and maintaining unwavering faith in the unseen, we can manifest our desires with clarity and purpose. It is through this process of inner alignment that we become the creators of our reality, capable of transforming our lives in ways that reflect our highest aspirations.